Everyone. I stand before you humbled and incredibly proud to be inducted into the Vanderbilt Athletic Hall of Fame. I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee, the staff at Vanderbilt, my coaches, teammates, and of course my family. Oh, there you are, right there. When I look, can you hear me okay? Is that okay? When I look back on my time at Vandy, one thing stands out above all else: the incredible journey we were part of. It wasn't just about athletics. It was about negotiating a shifting culture, a time when the world was challenging old norms, and we were on the front lines. In the late 1960s, Vanderbilt became more than just a school for me. It became a place where I witnessed the power of perseverance, the fight for equality, and the courage to stand up for what was right. I arrived at Vanderbilt in 1966, and let me tell you, that was an electric year. The world was in turmoil, but it was also evolving in ways that were impossible to ignore. On campus, you could feel the tensions of the civil rights movement, the Vietnam War protests, and the calls for change. The country was divided, yet you could sense an underlying push for something better, for something more inclusive, for something more just. Vanderbilt wasn't immune to these challenges, but it was a place where we found ways to rise above them. It wasn't easy, but I remember how we as athletes were asked to be more than just competitors. We were asked to represent something larger than ourselves. It wasn't just about winning games. It was about showing the world that sports could bring people together across every line: racial, social, political. Now, I don't want to shy away from the difficulties of that era. In those years, the Southeastern Conference was segregated. The fight for integration was just beginning, and the road ahead wasn't smooth. It wasn't until 1966 that the SEC finally admitted black athletes, and even then, many schools were reluctant to have them. The fact that Vanderbilt, a private institution, was one of the first to embrace integration was no accident. As a prospective freshman basketball player, I'll not forget the pride I felt when I first met Perry Wallace and Godfrey Dillard, two players who became trailblazers, not only for Vanderbilt, but for college athletics as a whole. Perry and Godfrey were the first African Americans to play basketball in the SEC. I remember watching them on court, noting how they carried themselves with dignity and grace, even in the face of unimaginable challenges. They weren't just playing for the love of the game. They were playing for change. They were playing for history. Perry and Godfrey helped shatter the walls of segregation. Few of us who played with them then truly grasped the scope of what they were doing. My own journey at Vanderbilt was one of growth personally and athletically. In addition to playing basketball, I played football for Bill Pace, who instilled in us a sense of discipline, pride, and integrity that stayed with me long after I graduated. My football teammates were not only talented athletes, but also friends who shaped my time at Vanderbilt and beyond. We were brothers on the field fighting for victory, but off the field we were a family that supported each other regardless of race, background, or religious affiliation. When I think about the struggles we faced, I realize how fortunate I was to be part of something so significant. We were playing in an era of profound social upheaval. It was a time when what we were doing could make a statement, could inspire others to believe in a better, more equal world. The legacy of desegregating the SEC, of Perry Wallace, Godfrey Dillard, and other athletes who fought for their place is something we should not forget. It wasn't only about those players, it was about the courage of coaches, administrators, and fans who were willing to challenge the status quo. It took bravery to stand up against entrenched power, to risk your reputation and career to make things right, but in the end, that's what change is about, standing firm for what you believe in, no matter the cost. And the great thing about that is it didn't end in the late 1960s. The impact of those athletes, of those who fought for integration in the SEC and across the South, can still be felt. You can see it in the diversity of our teams today. Where am I? I lost my place. The inclusivity in our locker rooms and the mutual respect these athletes have for each other and for their coaches, and the respect their coaches have for them. As I stand here tonight, I feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude for my time at Vandy, for the lessons I learned, and for the chance to contribute to something that was larger than the sports we played. It wasn't always easy, but it was always meaningful. The challenges we faced made the victories sweeter, while the camaraderie we shared made the struggles easier to bear. I'd like to share this honor with the athletes who came before me, with those who walked beside me, and with those who continue to make history today. To the young athletes who are following our footsteps, remember this: it's not just about a game, it's about making the world a better place, about fighting for what's right and lifting each other up. Thank you, Vandy, for giving me the privilege to be a part of this incredible and ongoing story. I'm forever grateful. Thanks.